Now, a position from the Minister for Internal Security, a delegate representing Kenya, so that we hear what is the position of Kenya regarding the security issues.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a few issues that I'd like to discuss with my fellow delegates. First, German-Kenya police cooperation has been enhanced in the past years. German has continued its cooperation with Kenya's security forces in the fight against terrorism and crime. We value the support that we have had from German since after colonialism. Although I'm proposing sharing of strategies and reform implementation in the police force so that Kenya can gain capacity to holistically deal with the issues of crime and the fight against terrorism. Terrorism, as we all know, is a global issue. Although Kenya has been on the receiving end on immense terror attacks from terrorist groups. Terrorists are constantly innovating new ways of causing terror, improved explosive devices that pose the greatest hazard in Kenya's fight against terrorism. As a country, we lack the technical support to keep up with the constantly innovative terrorist attacks, and I therefore propose support in opening of several technical training centers in Kenya and funding so that we can combat the terrorism menace. Last but not least, also due to the German success in securing and strengthening EU's external borders in deterring access by terrorist groups, I therefore indulge your government in sharing of strategies that will assist my country, that is Kenya, in controlling its porous borders.
Thanks, Delegate Member. Minister for Security from German side.
I'd like to respond to the issues raised by the Delegate for Internal Security from Kenya. Given the diversity of security threats in the 21st century, close cooperation between Kenya and Germany is more necessary than before. And concerning police reforms, the German Federal Criminal Police Office wants to continue its close cooperation with Kenyan security forces in the fight against crime and terrorism. German police will continue to conduct training for Kenyan police officers and prosecutors in methods of fighting terrorism as well as prosecuting terrorists. This can be done through workshops and trainings. The trainings will involve how to investigate terror attacks, investigations via the internet, as well as fighting cyber crimes. Germany can also provide office and professional equipment for securing crime scenes to the anti-terror police unit, anti-narcotics unit, as well as the criminal investigation department. Also, as Germany, we are proposing the need for a security compact between us and you Kenyans. The purpose of the compact is to emphasize Germans and Kenya's resolve to tackle the shared threat of terrorism. It should also strengthen existing security cooperation in the areas of countering violent extremism, border insecurity, aviation security, and criminal justice. We are also proposing that the two countries should work together and open a new center in Kenya to provide technical training to deal with improvised explosive devices, IEDs. And there is also the need of working with communities to address underlying causes of conflict and developing an integrated cross-government approach in tackling insecurity. This compact will include an annual senior-level strategic dialogue to view progress against the set objectives. And concerning the issue of cross-border international terrorism, us as Germany, we are still working with the EU to secure our external borders, but we can share lessons learned with you, Kenya, as you also try to stop the infiltration of Al-Shabaab into Kenya.
Thanks, Delegate Member from Germany. Let us get from the Kenya representative, who is the Minister for Environment, so that we can get the position of Kenya on the issues of environment.
A very good afternoon, and thank you very much, Chair. Now, the Kenya's major environmental issues are: one, we have water pollution from urban and industrial waste. We have a degradation of water quality from increased use of pesticides and fertilizers. We have issues to do with deforestation, soil erosion, desertification, and poaching. There is also this issue of energy, and when we talk about energy, we are talking about renewable and non-renewable energy. It must be noted and underscored that Kenya is the first African country to tap geothermal power and the largest producer of geoenergy. Now, digging deeper, when you talk about water resources, in Kenya, water resources are under pressure from agricultural chemicals and urban industrial wastes. On the forests, we are saying that output from forestry also has declined immensely because of resource degradation. We have experienced so much overexploitation of our forests cover. On wildlife, we have a biodiversity of wildlife, a variety of species in Kenya, and what we are saying is that our habitats are being threatened by so much encroachments of men and poachers that live in rural areas of Kenya. We also experience seasonal flooding, and on our proposals as Kenya, we are saying that we have key areas for more cooperation of Kenya and Germany. One, there is need to cooperate on sustainable agriculture, and this will ensure food security and also manage a perennial drought. It must be emphasized that 75% of Kenya's population workforce engages in active agriculture. Point number two, we need cooperation between Kenya and Germany to develop water and sanitation sector. Three, we need cooperation for good governance. We need more expertise and, of course, best strategies in the fight of against corruption that, of course, is carrying prospective in investors. Last but not least, we need cooperation for environmental conservation and, of course, more sensitization for environmental preservation. Lastly, we need cooperation to enhance investment in environmental technology and intensifying research to curb or rather minimize effects of climate change. Thank you.
Thanks, Delegate from Kenya. Let us get from the Delegate of Germany, Minister for Environment, so that we get their position regarding the position on Kenya on the environment matters.
The Minister for Environment could not be here with us today. She sends her apologies. Before I tackle your proposals, I would like to give a brief on our environment brief as Germany. Germany has embarked on a bold and aggressive strategy of diversifying its energy mix for costs and environmental reasons, while Kenya also aims at having over half of its energy mix from gas, hydro, and other renewable sources such as solar and wind. Issues of environmental concern are critical, and as such, our policy statement through the Renewable Energy Resources Act of 2000 serves as an anchor for all policy and energy and sets out a clear direction on climate change, among other issues. Our main issues of concern include, number one, concern over climate change. Germany and Kenya share the long-term target of holding the increase of global average temperatures below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Renewable energy and efficient use of energy are the most effective ways of managing greenhouse gases emissions in the two countries. The way forward to this is by encouraging more investment in environmental technology and boosting research into preventing climate change, as well as ensuring climate-friendly technologies that are rapidly distributed. Number two, increasing energy demands in Kenya. Kenya should transform its energy sector by increasing its share of renewable energy, particularly solar energy for electricity generation. Our ambitious mitigation efforts have a goal to at least have 80% of the electricity consumption from renewable resources by 2050, compared to currently it's roughly at 27%. Number three is intensifying cooperation in developing climate-friendly and sustainable solutions for Kenya's expanding energy needs. We propose the formation of a Kenya-German Energy Forum as a central dialogue forum for the two countries on energy agenda. This will be followed by the launch of a Kenya-German Environment Forum that will be regularly discussing climate change policies, as well as exchanging views with regards to Kenya and Germany's transition to low carbon economies for sustainable development. Secondly, we also propose a memorandum of understanding on a Kenyan-German solar energy partnership based on concessional loans in the range of 1 billion euros over the next 5 years. There is also the need to foster an alliance between Kenya and Germany, hence a comprehensive partnership to harness technology innovation and finance in order to make clean, affordable, and renewable energy accessible to all and foster climate change. Number four, Kenya needs to provide a transparent and predictable policy environment to foster innovation. The Kenyan government should create a market environment that will promote trade and investment in climate-friendly technology. For example, zero-emission passenger and freight vehicles and energy-efficient rail and water infrastructure should be key points. Germany is ready to exchange its experience on political implementation strategies that can help Kenya transition to low carbon emission, climate-resilient energy production and consumption. I believe Kenya and Germany can work together to develop and implement solutions that strengthen climate-friendly urban development, energy efficiency in the housing sector, urban water supply, as well as recycling and waste management in Kenyan cities. I would like to now answer the questions from my colleague from Kenya. You talked about the need for sustainable agriculture. There is cooperation to develop water and sanitation, environmental cooperation, enhancing investment, and intensifying research. All this boils down to good governance. If there's no good governance, there's nothing that we can achieve. But I believe as time goes by, you're going to come up with an agreement that will tackle all the issues and will also help us create a clean environment for all of us. Thank you.
Thanks, Minister for Germany. I think let us now get the position of the Minister for Labor and Employment on the side of Kenya so that we can understand their positions. That is Her Excellency Kashinoa Naipoa.
Thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. Despite the good relations between Kenya and Germany, we still feel that these relations can grow tremendously by maybe focusing today on two issues. From my docket, we focusing on the issue of German to increase more of its companies here in Kenya. This is because we have a rich population which will offer the labor that we believe it's skilled and also unskilled labor. And on to my second point, Germany, you should allow our rich labor, that is skilled and unskilled, to be into your country. This is because research shows that Germany is shrinking in terms of lacking the labor force. So maybe the minister can address those two issues. Thank you.
Thanks. The delegate for Germany, in charge of labor and employment.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's worth noting that Germany's economy is growing moderately fast with good labor market situation. In a few years, we are foreseeing a situation whereby we shall be faced with shortage of both skilled and unskilled labor due to the declining population. On the other hand, we are much aware of the fact that Kenya is making a milestone in working towards having abundance in both skilled and unskilled labor from its fast growing population. This fact can be utilized to be a win-win situation for both Kenya and Germany, whereby we can have Germany importing labor force from Kenya. Now for this to take place, we are encouraging teaching of German language and embracing of German culture in Kenya schools and universities as a means of immigration, because our economy will require German-speaking labor force who will be able to seamlessly integrate into our population. We are also calling for establishment of more German cultural centers in Kenya. In regards to foreign direct investment, it would be more beneficial to us and also to Kenya if we agree on the percentage of labor force that will be sourced from Germany vis-a-vis Kenya. We therefore propose a 60-40 ratio of skilled labor force within the FDIs, with 100% of unskilled labor being provided by Kenyans. Thank you.
Thanks very much, delegate from Germany. Let us now actually hear from the last delegate of Kenya. That is the delegate in charge of Ministry of Education, His Excellency Mapesa Wilson, so that we get the Kenyan position.
Thank you, Chair. The fact that Kenya stands to gain so much from Germany cannot be overemphasized. On this, I go straight to the issues. On the education sector in Kenya, I'll discuss two major blueprints that we have in the country. That is the Kenya Education Sector Support Program, which highlights a number of issues that we can share at some level and even seek for help from our counterparts in Germany. And the other one is the sectional paper number 1, 2005, which also highlights a number of issues that we can partner on with the Germany. On to the first paper, that is the Kenya Education Sector Support Program. It highlights a number of issues. I'll only pick up two, which we can partner with Germany. That is the issue of access to education in the country. We realize that Kenya stands at a very good position to advance in terms of literacy levels. We are only at the formative stages and we are budding to go. Under this program, a national assessment center was formed, which did some research way back in 2010. And what came out from that program, from that research, is the literacy levels in terms of the basic numeracy and generally literacy numbers are still a bit low, and we can do better than that. And at that point, maybe really we ask or rather seek our partners' hand in trying to boost our numbers in terms of literacy and numeracy levels in the country. Another sector that was found to be still wanting is the issue of administration. And in this, I'll be pointing out the issue of capacity building and the issue of governance, that is corruption. It was realized that most of our administrators in schools, that is the heads and basically the heads of the school, are unable to manage the funds that government devolves down to run the schools in a manner that is prudent, and we'll be seeking German's hand to help us in terms of capacity building by bringing in experts who can train us. And this, I think, will trickle down to the lower levels, that is the students or other people will be coming up with the mindset where we know what's good, what's bad, taking the corruption issue as a vice from the start. And on to the sessional paper number 1 of 2005, I'll highlight 2 issues where we can partner with our Germany counterparts. And one is on skills, development of skills. Under the paper, there was a setup on a national skills training strategy. I don't think that has picked up, probably because of funding and where we are as a nation, because we have a lot to do in terms of gaining the skills to run our companies and to run our industries. And this is a sector that I'll be calling upon our Germany counterparts to help us. Basically, in terms of capacity building, they'll come in handy. The other one is on training, that is training, vocational education, and such that the coming up of institutes, the polytechnics, and other technology sectors, which we have in the country. I don't think, in terms of capacity, we haven't done so well, though so good so far. And it's a point at the time where we need some support in terms of being held. And I'll put it to our German counterparts to maybe accommodate us on that sector. And towards this end, we've come up with a number of proposals. And one is to boost research. Maybe call upon our German counterparts to set up institutions of technology or institutions of excellency, where we are basically implanting the Germany system into the Kenya, just the way the British system is in Kenya. In terms of Germany access or visibility, we haven't seen so much of Germany, and we'll be encouraging our counterparts from Germany to set up such institution. In terms of funding, realizing that we are a developing country, and we are, in terms of funding, we basically engage in aid, borrowing here and there, and that's, I think our German counterparts come in handy to boost us in terms of funding so that we can improve our institutions. The issue of capacity building, the issue of expertise, I think that all revolves around the funding opportunities, and we'll be glad to be held in terms of it that far. I mean, another place where we can maybe relate or rather cooperate with our German counterparts is on vocational training. I realize our German counterparts have maybe where in their system, that is the education system, they don't really insist on somebody going through the steps up to the university, where we have a mindset to be employed. At some point, they boost what we'll call apprenticeship, and this is something they have worked on so well, and we'll like to partner with them on that issue. And this will basically boost our levels of literacy, or rather relevance to the economy, where we don't have youths and capital in the system that is mindset is believes that you ought to be employed to succeed, because there are areas where you don't need, like I don't need to do mole concept in chemistry to be a banker. So maybe in the system at some point you can drop out and engage in vocational training, the polytechnics, we can boost that so that we have an economy running. not really dependent on the mainstream government. Thank you.
Delegate from Germany in charge of education, let us get your position on the issues.
Thank you, Your Excellency. From the issues raised, we feel that the issues that you've pointed out can be achieved through the following ways. One, we agree to increase the number of scholarships given to Kenya. We feel that this will cover costs relating to study or research in Germany. The scholarship goals are to strengthen our ability to engage with Kenyan trading partners, improve the international skills of the Kenyan workforce, establish connection between Kenyans, Germans, and other countries through participants building lifelong friendship and networks, and strengthening Germany's understanding of other cultures. It's important to also note that after the Garissa attacks, we offered scholarships to 300 students affected by the attacks. We also agree to increase and encourage partnership with various institutions so as to promote our culture and also learn from Kenyans. Around 45 Kenyan schools do offer German as a foreign language, and about 3,200 students take up this offer. We propose to increase this number and offer assistance in any way possible. In addition, we propose to increase several of our cultural partners that offer German for adults and students at universities. Some of these cultural partners are like the Goethe Institute in Nairobi that promotes German language abroad through language and further training courses. It engages in international cultural cooperation and seeks to provide a wide-ranging view of Germany and German culture. In Kenya, the Goethe Institute supports 35 Kenyan schools which have introduced German as a subject by assisting them through regular initiatives for teachers and pupils in order to boost their knowledge of German and the German culture. Another institute is the German Academic Exchange Service that promotes German language as the interface of Germany as a study location. Lecturers teach German language, literature, culture, history, and other subjects with a German connection at the University of Nairobi and the University of Kenyatta University. Furthermore, they arrange and support study and research scholarships at German universities and offer language courses for students about to embark on studies in Germany. Another institution that we support is the German School in Nairobi that offers high-quality education for Germans as well as foreign-speaking children in Kenya and East Africa, along with a scholarship program for Kenyans. The German School Nairobi offers facilities in the framework of a German resource center for the promotion of German culture and language of Kenya and East Africa. The resource center is an educational and training facility for German as a foreign language and German as a medium of instruction, offering seminars and workshops for high school teachers of German, lecturers and professors of German pupils, and students of German, teachers, trainees of Germans from Kenya, East Africa, and German-speaking countries. We agree to increase the number of such institutions, as this will go a long way in providing a good platform for exchange of culture, as well as learning something new from one another. Lastly, we hope to encourage and increase the numbers of fellowships, exchange programs, and seminars at all levels of the education system, from high school, university level, and even postgraduate level. We have established agencies such as the Federal Agency for Civic Education that aims to help overcome the lack of knowledge that exists between African reality and German perception, and vice versa between German reality and African perception.
Very well. Thank you, delegates from Kenya and Germany. I would suggest we move on to the next set of negotiations. This is Kenya, China.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lucy Achieng Onyango, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, representing China. And I welcome you delegates to China as we are having our China-Kenya bilateral talks. Yes. I will first introduce my team. I have come with a delegation of ministers. Oh, sorry. My first minister is Mitchell James. He is the Minister for Internal Affairs and Security. Then the next minister is Farah Hassan. He's the Minister for Trade and Commerce. Farah Hassan, okay, he's here with me. Then I have with me Kiaria Nelly. She is the Minister for Education. I have with me Sharif Tahira. She is the Minister for Energy. And finally, I have Isia Godfrey. He is the Minister for Immigration and Refugees Affairs. Finally, I have with me Maureen Maingi. She is the Minister for Environment. Yes, we all welcome you to China. I will start with my introductory remarks. I'm so delighted to meet all of you here in China today. This forum is highly relevant for the strengthening of the bilateral ties that China and Kenya enjoy so far. China and Kenya have a long history of exchanges and a friendship that has stood the test of time. Chinese entrepreneurs have found Kenya to be conducive for investments and business ventures, while more Kenyans find working and doing business in China conducive. Moreover, China has become Kenya's principal cooperation partner in such areas as trade, investment, security, education, infrastructural development, and other emerging areas like immigration and refugees affairs. So, China as a country, we are ready to further take full advantage with our cooperation together with you as Kenyans, and realize the benefits that will accrue from these bilateral agreements. With these regards, I wish to welcome my counterpart from Kenya, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your warm welcome. We do appreciate very much. My name is Ekra Kimani. I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And with me, I have a team of delegates. And it's my pleasure to introduce them. From my farthest left, that is the Minister of Internal Affairs and Security, Ms. Hannah Chira. Then we have the Minister of Education, Ms. Ilham Ali. We also have the Minister of Trade and Commerce, Leah Atiamba. We also, on my right, we have the Minister of Environment, Ms. Nasra. Then we have the Minister of Immigration and Foreign and Refugees Affairs, Mr. Arnold Malianya. On my extreme right, we have Ms. Harriet Owala, the Minister of Energy. Thank you very much, and I'll give a very brief statement. So, when it comes to the Republic of China and the Republic of Kenya has had diplomatic relations since our independence back in 1963. The relations had a very long and lasting, the relationship, which has been very long and lasting, is mostly all about trade. Okay. The relationship between Kenya and China has seen the involvement of constructions of major infrastructure in Kenya, especially of late where China has been involved in construction of our major highways, malls, and now the standard gauge railways. It is our belief that through our continued relationship, we can do more and more to enhance our relationship. Looking at the history of bilateral relationship between Kenya and China, when it comes to last year, 2014, bilateral trade between Kenya and China rose to a percentage of 53% to a record high of 5.009 billion US dollars in last year, 2014. The two countries have created a lot of